him, and Mullery got very angry about what Terry Venables did and the way they kind of battled in the war of words after the game and the way they described each other's teams. Mullery took £5 out of his pocket. Intensifies here. You're listening to Premier League Live. And the fans just keeping themselves shaded from the sun here. Bright sunshine in South London here at the moment. Just about everyone in their seats, including the Palace Ultra fans, who've had a bit of a clash with the club in recent months. They've actually wanted a more favourable position for their seats. Right. Looking at them here away to our left-hand side, all dressed in black in one corner of the ground. The dispute was because they wanted the better seats right behind the goal.
Exactly right.
Is that fair on those fans?
It's weird because, it's unfair on the fans that are already behind the goal because, as we know, it's all-seater. So you've all got your season tickets and stuff, and you're asking people to give up their season tickets to move to a place where, the view is slightly different. It's unfair.
It's a little bit strange because I think most teams, certainly abroad and growing more and more here, would have one whole stand where the fans allow. But for Palace, they have that just one slither down the left-hand side where they make a lot of noise, which has kind of developed in the last 5-10 years or so. The two teams gathering in the tunnel at the moment. Kick off very shortly. This is Premier League Live.
There's more to life than football, money and fun. Well, not much.
Kick off the new season with TalkSport's £1 million Predictor game.
Register now at talksport.com/predictor and play for free throughout the season.
Play it in the van. Play it on the can. Play it with your gran.
Win £1 million sterling.
It's the biggest prize in the history of TalkSport.
The TalkSport £1 million Predictor game. Players must be 18 or over. See talksport.com/predictor for full conditions.
A If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Kane now on his left foot, bends the shot, what a goal from Harry Kane! MBE! Stunning finish with his left foot into the top corner. It's wonderful from Spurs. It's magnificent from Harry Kane. No wonder the Queen wanted to bestow an honour upon him. What a goal to celebrate.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Salah's readying himself to take this one. Van Dijk's there. Lovren's there. Fabinho's there to open his account for Liverpool. And just as City go 2-1 down at Leicester, Liverpool stamp their authority at Anfield. Yet more. Liverpool 4, Newcastle 0. Title challenge on. Are they now the favourites?
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league.
Aubameyang through to Torreira inside the area. Torreira scores! And surely now, North London is red again. Arsenal 4, Tottenham 2. Here's Maddison for Leicester. Vardy chance, Vardy goal. Leicester City out of nowhere have got the lead. Jamie Vardy, who's been virtually anonymous this afternoon, isn't anymore. Wonderful finish by Vardy, and it's Chelsea 0, Leicester City 1.
Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
The Premier League Preview Show with TalkSport.
God believes it. Rashford hits it. Oh, it's a goal. It's the first goal of the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era.
TalkSport's Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
He's put down the dumbbells and has turned up here for the show. Chris Uwelimo is on the preview show. A Premier League winner, Paul Parker, joins us on the Premier League Preview Show.
Subscribe to the podcast today at TalkSport.com.
This is Premier League Live.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Crystal Palace against Brighton and Hove Albion from Selhurst Park. I'm your host, James Field, and alongside me is the former Charlton Athletic and Palace winger, Paul Mortimer. This is Premier League Live, and this is the first game of a busy weekend in the Premier League. A big rivalry between Crystal Palace and Brighton and Hove Albion, and a bit of late team news here because it has emerged that Florian Andone has got injured in the warm-up, so Glenn Murray does come in to play from the start. He'll have been so disappointed to miss out in a game that he loves scoring in. 6 times he's scored in this fixture over the years, and he is the late change to come in. Elsewhere, let's go through the 2 11s very quickly. Guaita in goal for Palace, Wan-Bissaka, Tompkins, Dan and Van Aanholt across the back, Milivojevic with Schlupp and McCarthy either side, Zaha and Townsend the wide men for Palace, with Batshuayi starting through the middle, Ryan in goal for Brighton, Montoya, Duffy, Duncan, Bernardo across the back, Stevens, Bissouma and Proper in midfield, Jahanbash and Knockout the wide men for Brighton, Glenn Murray starting through the middle. He's their top scorer with 10 so far this season. Good atmosphere here at Selhurst. Brighton in their changed kit today of all green, and not a seat to be had around this famous old stadium. 26,000 in for this one here this afternoon. Palace against Brighton. A good weekend for both last time out. The Eagles 3-1 winners up at Burnley to make it 11 points won in their last 6. Seagulls edge past bottom side Huddersfield by a goal to 0. Both sides were the only weekend winners outside the top 10. A good weekend last, they'll be hoping it's a good weekend this. We're off and underway in the bright sunshine here in South London. Palace on the attack straight away down the left with Schlupp, and the first big tackle of the day, and Milivojevic has gone down after a challenge from Anthony Knockaert. The referee this afternoon is Craig Pawson. That's an early one for the referee to think about there, Paul Morton.
Yes, it is, and I really don't like when all the players get round. Just let them. He's booked him. He's booked Knockaert after 29 seconds. It's one of those. Yeah, the ball's there to be won, and he's in there late. It's a booking. It's a booking. It really is.
He's caught him in the nether regions.
He has caught him in somewhere incredibly painful.
He wasn't really close to getting the ball.
Do you know what? I've got to say, he's over the ball. What saved him is that he's on the floor, knockout, and he's not in the air. If he'd actually lunged in at that, I think he'd have been sent off. I really do. It's a terrible tackle this early in the game.
A silly challenge for him to make.
Yeah.
And one of the earliest yellow cards of this or any Premier League season. Right in front of the two benches as well. And the fourth official, Stuart Atwell, who was standing right on it, couldn't really have had a better view. So Palace restarters, and Knockout has got to watch himself in the time that remains. Both sets of fans making a wonderful noise here. Sometimes the early kickoffs can be a bit quiet. People still recovering from the Friday night hangovers, but everyone up and ready to go for this one here today. Townsend on the right-hand side here for Palace, midway inside the Brighton half. Milivojevic back wide to Andros Townsend again, who tries to come inside. He was surely manhandled there to the ground, but no free kick given after the challenge by Alireza Jahanbakhsh, the Iranian.
So what you can see is the mindset of Brighton already. They're sticking their foot in. They're going to be competitive. There's already been a couple of tackles that you know, I thought Townsend was fouled then. So they're going to start sharp and they're going to stick their foot in and they're going to try and ruffle the feathers of Crystal Palace.
Palace 0, Brighton 0 in the early stages here. A couple of green balloons floating across the pitch. As Brighton play down the right-hand side. It's a heavy touch there from Yves Bissouma. Gives it away, and Zaha rolls it back to Milivojevic on halfway. Carries the ball forward now, the Serbian. Much love in these parts. I think admired by many a Premier League fan as well. 8 goals for him so far this season. 7 of those have come from the penalty spot. It's a very good record from 12 yards. Palace with a long direct ball over the top here, looking to try and pick up Batshuayi. Maybe just held up in the wind there.
It seems a bit windy out there, I've got to say, because that died in the wind, didn't it?
Milivojevic rolling it back into his own half to find Scott Dan. His first start last week since December 2017. He's had a real rough ride with injuries recently.
He's been out for a year. It's great to see him back, I've got to say. But what it means is there's a lack of pace at the back, and Andoni would have made a difference because he's slightly quicker than Murray and more inclined to run in behind. So it could be an easier one for the two centre-halves of Crystal Palace today.
Yeah, Palace missing Mamadou Sakho, who's had knee surgery recently in Paris, ruling him out for the foreseeable future. I don't know if this ever happened to you as a player, but obviously Glenn Murray's been notified very late that he's going to start, and I think often when you watch the warm-ups you'll see that the 11 may be in, you know, a little square in between the cones, doing quick passes, trying to work on movement and stuff like that, whereas the subs will just gather in a little huddle, just doing keep-ups and stuff like that. How do you kind of take yourself from that substitute mentality to, wow, I'm suddenly in the team and I'm going to
It's difficult because when you know your sub, you do want to warm up properly. I'm not saying you don't, but you kind of don't think you're going to come on early, so you hold a little bit back because you know during the game you're going to have to get up and warm up 15 times, so you kind of hold a little bit back, but he's professional and you just get on with it. It's where you'd rather be, isn't it? So it's an opportunity, you just take it as best you can.
Yeah, he's got 10 goals this season. He's the joint top scorer of any player inside the current bottom half of the Premier League. Bissouma has gone in here on Milivojevic, who's had a rough time of things inside the opening 4.5 minutes.
I don't know how bad that was. I'd have to see, because you know Bissouma's run past him and he's clipped. The ball's gone off the pitch. He's tried to play a 1-2. Ball's gone off the pitch. Milivojevic is there and he's just caught him, and it's not something he needed to do, if I'm honest. Oh yeah, steps on his ankle. That's painful. That is painful. I don't know if he meant it though.
No, it was a very strange one, wasn't it?
I don't think he meant it.
But his foot was almost planted in the ground as well, so he kind of turned it right in the turf.
It's a painful one. I mean, he'll have to be interesting to see how he goes, Milivojevic, because he really opened up his ankle there. It's very painful.
I don't think he's going to be doing too much tomorrow, whatever happens.
I've got to say,
he's already had two on him.
One of the crown jewels, which are okay, and then, you know, the ankle one is painful.
The ball back here with the Brighton goalkeeper, Matthew Ryan. Rolls it out underarm here. It's been a grey, miserable week in London, but the sun's shining brightly here. Oh, it's got heavily sunburnt at Crystal Palace. I've got bad memories of that one.
Really?
Yeah.
God,
years ago, I was sitting in the stand we're in here watching the game from today, and the sun was shining so brightly. At the time, I had a full head of hair, so it wasn't so bad. But,
listen, it can. You can. It's very, very bright at Palace.
Here's Townsend down the right-hand side. A chance for him to lay in Wan-Bissaka, who's gone past him on the overlap, carrying it towards the edge of the area. Aaron Wan-Bissaka looking to try and get the ball over. It's well blocked though by Bernardo. Townsend now winning it back. Milivojevic sliding it again, and Townsend plays the safe ball back to the halfway line to Tompkins, who squares it to Dan. Carries it over halfway. Milivojevic hoping to just pass the ball without getting clattered in the process. Zaha is fouled here.
Bazuma's got to watch out because he's catching people late in his tackling, and he didn't get booked that time. He's got to be careful.
Batshuayi, edge of the penalty area, goes for goal. First attempt on goal of the game with 6.5 minutes gone, but the Australian Ryan with a simple claim down to his left-hand side.
Well, you want to get your Ryan early, and he's a goal scorer, so at any point he can turn and make a yard and shoot, he's going to do it, because he's brought there not to join in the play as much, but to score goals.
Ryan is send this one forward on the side volley, if you like, to try and get a bit more direction and accuracy on it, but he sent it straight out of play. So Palace have the throw, which they've taken quickly. They've seen more of the ball so far. Murray, I don't think, has had a touch inside the opening 7 minutes. MacArthur over the halfway line here for Palace, driving in field as he sees an avenue open up for him. Dan feeding it forward, trying to find a space in between the lines, but it's picked up by Bissouma, who plays it to Knockhart down the right-hand side. Anthony Knockhart with a lovely reverse ball forward, but well intercepted there by Jeff Schlupp, who dropped in. Slightly different role for him today. Has been playing on the left-hand side of midfield, but has come inside today to play as part of a midfield three. Zaha inside his own half, goes back here to Tompkins. Milivojevic back, and Dan looks up, looks ahead, and clips a cute ball out to the left-hand side to Van Aanholt. MacArthur coming inside and works the ball from left to right via Tompkins, who then clips a long diagonal out to the left, and again the wind holding the ball up there. It took a long time to get out there. Tackled by Bissouma, goes unpunished this time by the referee. It's played out now, and a chance for Brighton to come forward with David Cropper. Falls on the left to Jahanbakhsh. Driving at Wan-Bissaka, who gets in the challenge. And he's been hotly tipped for an England call in the coming international break.
Good timer of a tackle as well. Sometimes doesn't need to, but it's very clear and clean in his tackling.
So a throw in here for Brighton. We play 8.5 minutes. You're listening to Premier League Live. Throw down by Bernardo. Goes back here to Jahanbakhsh. Into the penalty area towards Murray, who gets a touch, tries to lay it off there. Zaha back trying to intercept, and Bissouma going in again. Been a few tasty challenges in this one. Sometimes the derby game's not always living up to the hype, but this one has a certain edge to it already, and Townsend feeling some pain in his chest here as he was challenged.
The ribs, I think. It certainly is competitive, and that's what it needs to be. But you can see how it's sort of set up. Brighton are prepared to sit in and just let Palace have the ball, and Palace are sort of taking too long on the ball. Brighton have got a good defensive shape. Palace have to move the ball quicker to be able to ask questions of Brighton defensively.
Brighton have seen less than 30% of the ball so far. This is the 99th competitive meeting between these two sides. A 3-1 win for Brighton in the reverse back at the start of December. Penalty from Glenn Murray, Leon Balogun and Florian Andone getting the other goals in that before Milivojevic got a late penalty back. Shane Duffy, who plays today, was sent off in that game. Zaha fouls on halfway, and again Bissouma, that's his third already with less than 10 minutes gone, and he's looking nervously over towards the referee, who is going to have a word with him now.
Bringing the captain in, he's got to, because he's had a nibble at him. Zaha's held him off, and then he's just kicked him, to be truthfully honest. It's a poor tackle, and ordinarily that's a booking.
It's just a talking to. Knockhart protesting as well, but Craig Pawson, who is regarded as one of the best young officials in England, he's on the UEFA list for European games.
It's a booking, it's a poor tackle. He's gone for the ball with his wrong foot as well. So what happens there is his thigh or knee catches Zaha high, because he can't arc his leg round to actually connect with the ball.
Just under 11 minutes gone. Palace 0, Brighton 0. So many more games to come this afternoon as well. We'll have it all covered for you from 3 o'clock. Palace have made the better of the starts here between these two. It's a long breaking pass from left to right, looking for the run of Wan-Bissaka, but he won't keep that one in play. England suddenly have a lot of good right backs at their disposal,
yes,
don't they?
We do, and it's just all of a sudden, isn't it? And it's great. It's great to see. Now we just need more of that around the pitch, don't we? More competition for place. We'll only raise standards. We'll only make England a better and bigger proposition for world football.
Players who seem to have their heads screwed on as well. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I was watching an interview with him last season. Seems very level-headed and, you know, very much a family man. He's not letting his fame go to his head or anything like that. And Wan-Bissaka seems the same. We haven't seen any negative headlines against those two. Trippier, obviously, the man in that position at the moment. And Kyle Walker can also play there. I think certainly looking up in that position, and Palace very lucky to have Wan-Bissaka on their books. Knockout laying the ball back here. Toya with the ball forward, which is cut out, played forward now. MacArthur takes it on, but a touch on the ball there from defender Duffy, helps it back. Toya clearing the ball away here, but putting it straight into touch. It's a Palace throw, and the home fans appreciating the start their side have made,
Didn't realise it was as windy down there, you know, as we feel. They're having a few problems with their passing, especially in the air. Balls dying in the wind, making it very difficult to read.
Throw in here to Palace, in line with the edge of the penalty area, left-hand side, thrown into the box now. Batshuayi lays it wide to Wilfred Zaha, twisting and turning. It's taken off him by Van Aanholt, but couldn't sort his feet out in time and sends his cross behind the goal. Now to play for a goal kick.
And they do that very well. The wide players, Townsend and Zaha, might cut in with the ball. It allows those rampaging fullbacks, Van Aanholt and Wan-Bissaka, to get in behind and deliver quality crosses. Wasn't so much that time, but the movement was decent.
And of course, see a similar pattern to the way the game went early this season. You see the ball actually spotting it up for the goal kicker. It was rolling back behind the line there, because when Brighton beat Palace 3-1, Palace had 68% of the ball in that game, which was the highest they've had in any match this season, but they lost 3-1. Here early on they've had 72% of the ball.
Could see it being the same. And they'll just sit in, they'll dig in Brighton and make it difficult and catch them on the counter-attack.
Ball played forward here for Townsend. Loose touch from him. It's back here now with Bernardo, who plays a long direct ball forward, but over Jahanbakhsh. And it goes to Vicente Guaita, who's not had anything to do yet. He's in the only area of the pitch which is totally in shade, so he's not enjoying the sunshine.
That helps, I've got to say.
As a goalkeeper.
Yes, it does help. You've got the sun in your eyes, it's murder, it really is.
Here's Knockout, right-hand side, sloppy play by Palace, who's conceded the ball here to Brighton. Bernardo rolls up the left-hand touchline to Jahanbakhsh. Infield, and Brighton having just about their best spell of possession so far. We played just under 15 minutes, 0-0 the score. And it's back here with Dunk, who finds Duffy to the right-hand side, and Montoya. Bissouma. Stevens inside his own half here, looking up, trying to find a ball forward, but has to go back one in the end. Into midfield now to Bissouma. Stevens kicking the high ball to the left flank, but way too much on that. It's a tight enough pitch as it is without overhit passes like that. It's out of play for a Palace throw.
And this is the problem they're having. They cannot look forward because they don't have any pace up front. So their passing has to be better, has to be quicker. And at the moment it's so slow, they're not prepared to take a risk at the moment or gamble. So therefore it's difficult for them to get the ball into Murray or get up the pitch as they'd like, Brian.
Milivojevic, who seems to have recovered well from his early knocks and kicks towards him. One which could have done some serious damage to his ankle, but he's okay. Bernardo, the Brazilian. His dad played for the national team back in 1989.
Wow. That was a proper side.
Here's the young Bernardo now. Forward to Murray, who slips and gives the ball away. Dan stepping out. Milivojevic, two exchanging short passes, closed down by Murray. It's been played away now. There's space on the right-hand side for Wan-Bissaka. Murray, by the way, sitting on 99 league goals for Brighton. Yeah, a handful of players have made it to 100 for the Seagulls. Here's Townsend coming in off the right, trying to curl one towards goal. It's deflected, missed by Zaha, but will carry behind out of play for the game's first corner.
And that's what he does, Townsend, does it really well. They've obviously done their homework, Brighton. Allowed him to cut in, but blocked the ball really well, Bernardo, I think it was. And it may well be a game where set pieces become very, very important, and we shall see.
That is what Dan and Tompkins give you. That aerial threat coming forward from the back. Being marked by Duncan Murray. It's a high ball, clips as the penalty by Milivojevic. The heads go up now, but it's well headed away by Dunk. Basuma picks it up in the left back area and fires it away downfield. It just about stays in play on the halfway line. Wan-Bissaka with a big up and under forward. It's taken down in an advanced position by Schlupp, who does well to lay that one off. Batshuayi fully committed as he slides in to find Van Aanholt on the left hand side. Zaha coming in field. The Ivorian Wilfred Zaha going for goal, just slightly off balance there and drives it high over the crossbar and into the White Horse Lane stand behind the goal.
Good play from Batshuayi, wins the ball. Van Aanholt knocks it. It's sort of in the inside left position. He cuts inside and he's already going to shoot. But Knockaert and Dale Stephens do really well to close him down, and it goes high wide and not really very handsome.
But it's Palace doing most of the early pressing and running here. Certainly taking the game to Brighton, as you'd expect them to, being the home side. Just 10 goals here this season.
Yeah,
for a side, you know, we've waxed lyrical about them, saying how they've got really good players in wide positions, and Batshuayi, who has done well as a forward, but 10 goals, that's terrible, really.
Honestly, they're worst. They're one of the worst home records. Fewest home goals in the top 4 English leagues. They're in 4th place, 3rd place, lowest proportion of home points at home over the top 5 leagues. That tells you a story. So Brighton come here knowing statistically they have a chance because Palace are not great at home.
Just one win in their last 6 home games.
But I don't know why. You look at what they've got on the pitch. It baffles me as to why they're not a tougher proposition at home.
Tompkins, former West Ham central defender, plays it square to Scott Dan, who steps out from the back towards the halfway line. Brighton sitting in, and it's to try and play the high one over the top, looking for Townsend, but Brighton cut that one out, and a long ball forward. Oh, it's been missed here. It presents a chance to Glenn Murray, who goes for goal, and he finds the net in sensational fashion. He only needs one chance, and Glenn Murray has taken it to reach a century of goals in Brighton colours in the league. But that's secondary here because he's given the Seagulls the biggest lead in the derby. Just 19 minutes gone, Crystal Palace 0, Brighton 1.
And it's a mistake from James Tompkins. Misses his header, ball bounces through to Murray. He's still got a lot to do, and he's at the angle, and it's a wonderful finish, I've got to say. He's bounced it over Brighton. He's not getting anywhere near, but you see it's a mistake from Tompkins, not aware, doesn't think the ball's coming anywhere near him, should jump on and head it clear. He doesn't. Scott Dan doesn't stay with Murray. Murray's got a lot of work to do, flashes it past the goalkeeper into the far corner. That is what Murray is about in a nutshell. You give him a chance, and Brighton are 1-0 up.
He has now scored in the last 4 games between these two sides. If there's ever a man for this derby, it is Glenn Murray.
As he turned around, you think he's saying he can shoot and don't start me on the bench again. Great finish.
Here come Palace looking to respond with MacArthur. Goes wide to Zaha on the left-hand side. Zaha back onto his left foot and just poking it away there was Duffy. We were talking about it earlier, how the pattern might be the same, and Palace had all the possession. Brighton, one shot, one goal.
Exactly right. And look at Zaha at the moment, he's not convincing me. Doesn't seem to be as incisive on the ball. Taking too many touches, they go and shut him down, more than one player, and he's not as potent as he normally is.
Stalin challenge here by Milivojevic, and he presents the ball back to Ryan, the goalkeeper. It's the ball in two hands now as Michy Batshuayi closes him down. Roy Hodgson will be so disappointed to concede like that. It was an error from his own defence as well. It was completely missed, wasn't it, by Dan? Got his footwork all wrong and missed the ball.
Can't legislate for that. Tompkins should... See, the problem that you had was, when they had the ball, Tompkins wasn't paying attention to the game. So when it's been hooked away, he wasn't ready. He was nowhere near ready. He was out of position, which is why he had to stoop to head it and completely missed it.
Brighton coming forward, looking for another. The away fans enjoying themselves here. Bernardo carrying it down the left wing. Wide he goes into Johan Bash. Goes down the left-hand side. Referee says play on. So throw into Brighton on the halfway line. Really cannot say enough about how good a finish that was from Glenn Murray. Put it in the only place he could do to score, couldn't he?
Wonderful finish, I've got to say, because Scott Dan is on his tail. So he can't take another touch. He's bouncing up lovely. He's got to take a leap of faith and trust in his technique, and he did. 1-0 up, and he didn't celebrate either. Obviously, ex-Palace player, but you know, it was a mistake for Palace to sell him, by the way, I've got to say. You know, but that's done. Great finish. They find themselves 1-up. There's a lot more to go in this game, though, I'll tell you that much.
Played for Palace from 2011 to 15. Palace giving away a free kick here. As Brighton attack down the left wing. Wan-Bissaka, the offender. Have a set play to defend here. Duncan Duffy will come forward. Stevens, an aerial threat as well. Knockout standing over the ball. It's around 10 yards in diagonally from the corner flag. In front of those Crystal Palace fanatics who are making their feelings known towards the Brighton players in no uncertain terms.
The strange thing there was Duncan Duffy, the two centre-halves, came over to Knockout and said, right, put it in this area for me. Looks like they've got one off the training ground.
We shall see what they come up with. Really can't afford to go two down here, as they did in the reverse. Free kick from the left, bent in now. A player went over there inside the box, comes back out to Bissouma, skipping past 2 and 3, tries to get the strike in. It was deflected, and Gaeta coming off his line to grab the ball, wants to get rid of it quickly, does get rid of it now, finds Van Aanholt, who rolls it down the left hand side for Zaha, who races past his man, taken down. Free kick, and the yellow card is coming. There was only going to be one outcome there, and a second booking for Brighton this afternoon, and it's a booking here for Martin Montoya.
Well, it's just poor play, isn't it, really? He's gambled. And the thing is, Stevens is supporting, so he's going to run into Stevens anyway, Wilfred Zaha. But there's...
Seeing the replay now, the free kick, and down with his arm around the neck there. I think if we had VAR...
Well, it's a penalty. Look, he's grabbing his shirt as it is. It's a penalty. You know... It's two penalties, to be truthfully honest. And I don't know how that doesn't get seen. I've got to say, I really don't. He's taking a huge gamble there, Dan.
High ball played forward here by Palace from the free kick. Into the penalty area it goes, headed away by Bernardo. Johan Bash has lost it now. MacArthur trying to centre, wins a throw in for Palace right by the corner flag. But it's going to be interesting how players play it next season, because they know that every situation like that, we're talking about the penalty appeal a minute ago, is going to be checked by the VAR, whoever that may be. And although we've seen some very strange decisions in Europe and in the other leagues, I can't see how anyone is going to get away with something like that.
Well, I can't see anyone really getting away with it now. If what we say is going to happen is going to happen, and they actually enforce it properly. My worry is whether they're going to enforce it, because initially there are going to be so many penalty situations, a bit like the World Cup where we benefited. England, Harry Kane. That's what's going to happen. There's going to be so many complaints early on, but what you're hoping is that players start to recognise that and take responsibility and realise we can't pull and push in the penalty area now, because the ref could give it against us, and we could that could cost us the game.
We'll clean the game up though for certain, because there's so much of that every single week, and we always see at the start of any Premier League season the PGMOL who look after the refs and are in charge of them say, oh, we're going to clamp down on this, there won't be any pulling. For the first few weeks you see Mike Dean point to the spot a few times, and then after that it all quietens down.
They never do.
But I think there's going to be a big change this summer. Bash with the ball away. Starting to get on halfway. They're trailing by a goal to nil here. Glenn Murray scoring against his old side again in the 20th minute. 6 goals dead in this game before today. It's 7 now. Seeing the penalty call again. Craig Pawson looking in there.
He's not even seen it.
He only looks, when the players hit the deck, at which point he can't make a fair judgment.
He's not even seen it. But if you look to the other side of the pitch, the assistant referee must see it. He must see it because he's got the whole game in front of him. Why does he not do anything?
Free kick given by aforementioned assistant referee, now Lee Betts on the far side. Free kick Palace. Which fans have quietened down since that opening goal. We played over half of the first half here. Wan-Bissaka with the ball out to the right hand side for Townsend, driving forward now. 2 Brighton players against him in Jahanbash and Bernardo, and as Townsend tries to put the ball over there, Bernardo blocks it. It goes out of play on the halfway line for a throw to Palace, who are keen to restart things quickly here. Milivojevic playing it square to Schlupp.
And they've done their homework really well, Brighton. They've sat in, they're making it difficult, they're nullifying Townsend and Zaha. So Palace have no threat at the moment. Batshuayi hasn't been in it.
Played forward now towards Batshuayi, who slips on the edge of the penalty area, then fouls his man. Brighton able to play away out of a tight situation. The referee had his whistle to his lips there. In the end, Brighton give it away. Palace are back here with Brighto, who's only had one thing to do so far, and he couldn't save Murray's shot.
Palace's approach play is too slow. Because you look at Brighton now, they've condensed areas, they've overloaded areas, which makes it difficult.
Well, there's a gap here for MacArthur down the left-hand side into the box. Didn't really catch his cross ride. Zaha coming in! A really good chance there for Crystal Palace. It looks as though Zaha would fire that ball into the bottom corner, but he got an important deflection on it to take it behind for a corner.
And the difference there is, first time ball from Zaha into a run from McCarthy, squares it, takes a couple of deflections before he gets to Zaha. And it is a wonderful block. I've got to say, I think it's by Lewis Dunk, because I think that's 1-all.
It was Dunk who got his boot to it. The corner from Milivojevic. The Serb swings it in now. Looping header. Great save by Ryan. And headed away further by the Brighton back line. Van Aanholt helps it back in. Still half a chance nodded on by Tompkins. Touch towards goal. Wide it goes from Schlupp. But what a save there from the Australian.
Well, it's a great ball in from Milivojevic. It's Tompkins who's just guiding it. It looks like it would have been headed off the line, but it's a great save. Ball goes out wide. Van Aanholt helps it back in. Tompkins again wins it. And on the turn, it's a great shot on the turn from Jeffrey Schlupp, which just inches past the post.
Ryan had to clamber past so many bodies to get there. That was a looping header that was heading towards the top corner. The goalkeeper did well, and it remains Palace 0, Brighton 1.
Well, you can see what Palace do when they move the ball quickly. You know, that all started from a decent run from MacArthur in sort of the inside left position. Great flick from Zaha.
Brighton under pressure here. Plays the ball away. It's a poor ball out. I'm not really sure what he was trying to do there, but the Spaniard puts it into touch. A former teammate of Brighton fullback Bruno at Valencia. Bruno not involved at the moment for Brighton. Such a key figure though in getting them up to the top flight. Brighton have the advantage here at the moment by a goal to nil. And watching on from the stands at the moment, he was due to start today, but Murray started in his place, and it's he who scored the only goal so far. Knockout down the right, lays it back here, and a chance for Bissouma to come forward, but over touches it there and gives it back to Palace. But Brighton coming forward again. Bernardo Very lanky, slender figure, the Brazilian. Let's turn back to the Brighton goalkeeper here by Dunk, but there's quite a lot on that ball, and Brian has to scamper after it towards the corner flag. He sends a high one forward. The ball taking some funny twists and turns, and the trajectory on some of the kicks today has been quite hard to work out, really.
Murray's
very unpredictable.
Run underneath that one when he thought actually it was going to die in the wind. It didn't. It kicked on. Very strange at the moment, but again the balance of power slightly shifted, hasn't it?
Bernardo with a good header away. Wan-Bissaka playing it forward. It goes out off Johan Bash, and Palace have themselves a throw inside the Brighton half. Wan-Bissaka inside to Townsend, who loses the ball. It's caught under his feet. Townsend again now, though. Chance to run down the right. Wan-Bissaka there with him, as he always is. Wan-Bissaka going on the outside, trying to centre. Bernardo blocks it. Townsend cuts onto his left foot, swings a high ball in there. Too high, too long. Out of play for a goal kick to Brighton and Hove Albion.
Well, they're trying. Again, not enough quality, not enough real thought or incisiveness from Palace. They're not getting in behind the fullbacks, which Brighton are not allowing. So when Townsend cuts inside, it's a lot easier to mark because for the two centre-halves, because all the play's in front of them. So, you know, they can time their headers, and it's a lot easier for them. Palace have to move the ball quicker, they have to be more incisive. Zaha has to get on the ball and do more. He's not really been in it at the moment, and it's fairly comfortable for Brighton, you would say.
The only chance they've had in this game has been the goal. Tente Guaita with the ball away here for the home side, but again it goes straight out of play. Chris Hughton will be very happy with the way this game has developed. 32.5 minutes gone. His side in the lead. Get a second before half-time, it would put them in a very strong position, as we say, against the Palace side, who have scored 10 times here this season. Brighton themselves have only scored 13 in 14 away games prior to this. Just 19 of their 70 points have come away from home in their two Premier League seasons, which is a lower percentage than any team in Premier League history. Just shows how important the Amex is to them, and how much of a fortress that can be. When that place is rocking, it's as good an atmosphere as any stadium I've been to in this country. Really enclosed down there in the Brighton Hills.
The thing is, what we'll say to Palace is we'll have a chance because they're not great. They'll give us a chance because that is clear what they do. They're not great away from home, Brighton.
Bernardo, so very assured at left back so far. Plays it inside to Stevens, who returns it to Dunk, who tries a long diagonal himself. Knockout battling with Van Aanholt. Knockout has been penalised there. The assistant, who was only 5 yards away, didn't flank, but the referee saw it.
It's a strange one. I think he just nudged Van Aanholt out of the way.
Steve Coppell watching on here today, a former Palace manager.
Manager of mine too, at Palace. Very successful at Palace.
Townsend down the right here for Crystal Palace, trying to put the ball over. Claims of handball against Bernardo.
I think he's got to do more, Townsend. That's just far too easy. He's not really putting Bernardo under any pressure, asking questions of him. He's just running it down the line and crossing it, not really looking to take Bernardo on. And Bernardo's long and rangy, those long legs. He's got to do more to ask questions of Bernardo's defensive abilities.
Steve Coppell had 4 spells in charge of Crystal Palace and a year or so in charge of Brighton as well. He's been out to India to manage, among other places, since leaving English football. Just over 10 minutes to go until half-time.
Flown by, I've got to say, it really has done.
Throw into Brighton here on the left. Bernardo throws it down the line, and they get a throw now 10 yards up from the corner flag, which again the Brazilian will take. Murray plays it back here. They're holding on to the ball in opposition territory. David Proper Brighton lose it now, and Palace have themselves a throw. Talk about the speed of Palace's play. I mean, they have some very quick players as well. It shouldn't be beyond them, should it? And presumably that's what, Roy Hodgson has said coming into this game. They want you to move it quickly, but for whatever reason, they just haven't been able to get a tempo and maintain it throughout the half.
I think it's also because everyone wants the ball to feet, and they want to all take a couple of touches. Now and again, you've got to be able to look to run in behind. And the more you run in behind, you stretch the game out, which gives your midfield far more space to play in, and your Townsend and your Zahas will have more space to weave their little bits of magic.
Bernardo plays the ball into the penalty area, headed away by Dan. Townsend tries to bring it out now. Into throw off Bernardo.
Batshuayi, it's got to be important. We've got to be looking in the channels. We've got to be looking to get him involved a little bit more. He's not in the game at the moment.
Suma gives the ball away, and Palace have a chance to come forward now. They've got 5 in this attack. Schlott plays it to the left. Zaha, corner of the penalty area. Trying to run here at Montoya. Van Aanholt's gone past him. Zaha slows down, and Brighton with a chance to get bodies back in behind the ball. He goes back out now. Milivojevic, edge of the area. Townsend can hit them. He does hit that one. Back out to Zaha, who ups it forward, out of play for a goal kick. Brighton delighted with themselves how they defended that there. The high fives going on between the defenders at the moment. But Palace had such a good opportunity there. Zaha in a great position. He had to go one way or go the other and get the strike away, but in the end it took too long.
Sometimes it's decision making. Sometimes get it out your feet and cross it quickly. But because you know what magic he can weave, they can tend to give him the opportunity to go and do what he wants to do. The minute he played it back, the impetus of the move had gone. And then it makes it difficult because Brighton again take up good defensive positions and make things difficult for attacking sides.
Back here with Guaita in the Palace goal. Forward from him. Tompkins then with a header into the air, bit of head tennis going on at the moment. Stevens then nods it down. MacArthur takes it on. Hanbash gets it now. A good ball down the left channel. Murray onto it. He hasn't got too much support at the moment, but he'll hang on to the ball, wait for reinforcements. And here's Hanbash, goes back to Stevens on halfway. Brighton in no rush to come forward. Coaches furiously trying to organise their respective sides in the 2 technical areas facing us here. Ray Lewington screaming at his players. Roy Hodgson taking more of a back seat. Chris Hughton very much the man in the technical area for Brighton. He's just passed 200 games in charge. He's won 6 games against Palace over the years, which is the best record he's got against any side. And he's heading for win number 7 here this afternoon. MacArthur into Schlott. Zaha on the left-hand side. He tries to play it forward, but his opposite number, Knockout, gets a boot on the ball. It's a Palace throw on the left. Milivojevic. Wan-Bissaka. Milivojevic again on the halfway line. One ball played forward from him. Brighton will clear. Suma knocks it down now for Knockout. Stevens. He's out to the left-hand side, in between 2. Hanbash jogs back a few yards to play back to Bernardo. Talking about Wilfred Zaha there. Is that why he's at the club he is, and why no one, Manchester United obviously took the gamble on him a number of years ago now, and it didn't work out for him at Old Trafford. Is that why probably he's going to be at Palace for the foreseeable future? Do you see another club going for him again?
He's one you'd gamble on. I definitely would. I mean, he's better for the Man United experience. He understands what it takes to play at a big club. I tend to think that he can't get any better at Palace. That's the thing, the type of player they've got. It's not challenging him, and he needs to be at a club, I think, where he's going to be challenged. Because if he plays 5 poor games, the 6th one he's still going to play, the 7th one he's still going to play, because of Wilfred Zaha. So competition for places, that shirt being important, because at the moment he's going to play.
Tompkins trying to carry the ball forward here, challenged by Murray, who does well, and lays it back here to Duffy. Here's an interesting stat for you. Shane Duffy, out of any Brighton player this season, has had the third most shots on goal.
Well, that's a surprise when you've got people like Knockaert, Dale Stevens, Murray, Andoni, people like that in the team. That's quite a surprise that it's a defender.
They've only scored 30 goals themselves, which is 5 less than Palace. Shows that he's a threat, though, at set plays. And he goes forward. Talking of going forward, here come Palace. Zaha into the box. MacArthur back to goal. Players around him. Zaha again on the left. Ball in towards Townsend, and he lets it run for a corner.
Well, they're getting closer, but they're trying to walk it in the net. Sometimes you've got big centre forward at your feet, get it in the box, see if you can win the knockdowns. But they're trying to walk it in the net, and it's a crowded penalty. It's a very difficult thing to do.
Palace with 3 wins in the last 4 Premier League games. Trailing by a goal to 0 here. Milivojevic bends the one in. It's headed backwards by Murray. It's been important attacking and defending so far. Brighton managed to get themselves out of that situation and have a throw on the left-hand side. We've got 3.5 minutes to go in this first half. Plenty more games to come this afternoon. Featured match at 3 o'clock UK time is Southampton against Spurs. Man City Watford is the late game. Cardiff West Ham, Huddersfield Bournemouth, Leicester Fulham and Newcastle Everton your 3 o'clock kickoffs. 3 games tomorrow. Liverpool Burnley is a midday start at Anfield. Stamford Bridge at 2:05 for Chelsea against Wolves, and Arsenal against Manchester United at 4:30. Manchester United going into that one after their heroics in Paris earlier this week. Plenty at stake here in terms of points and local pride as well. Another play here for a Brighton goal kick. The message from Roy Hodgson at half-time will be, look, let's speed things up and let's just do things quicker.
You've got to play with a little bit more urgency. I mean, you know, Ryan's wasted time already. We've got 45-50 minutes left. There's no point in doing that. Get on with the game. But Palace have to play with a little bit more intensity, a little bit more urgency. Not panic, but they have to raise their levels a bit.
Roy Hodgson sitting in his racing seat in the dugout at the moment. Brighton with a throw here down the right-hand side as Knockaert knocks it against Van Aanholt. Brighton are trying to wind this first half down now. Martin Montoya making his way forward very slowly indeed. He throws it down the line now towards Knockaert, who puts an early ball into the box towards Johan Bash, trying to turn. A slight nudge there from Wan-Bissaka, and Brighton see their move break down. And a clash between 2 Brighton players there. Bernardo and Dunk both going for the same ball.
And you saw the wind. The wind there, it died in the wind, and that's why the 2 Brighton players had to make a decision. And they did. Whether they, get the bumping into each other, they actually went and cleared it and made a decision rather than let it bounce and leave it.
Van Aanholt driving a ball down the left side. Brighton probably could have let that one go there, but it's headed away by Duffy. Bissouma, lucky not to pick up a yellow card so far. As soon as he makes a foul again, he'll go into the book. Here's Zaha. Ball breaks for him midway inside the Brighton half. Skips past Stevens to give himself some time. A couple of step-overs, goes on the left foot, tries to play the ball into the box. Stevens hacks it clear once and twice. Wan-Bissaka. Townsend on the right. Steps over the ball to give himself some time. Milivojevic. Schlupp. Palace working slowly from right to left. Van Aanholt driving in field now. Into the box it goes. Nice layoff there. Palace with a chance. Batshuayi down the left-hand side. Ryan forced into blocking that one. It was a tight angle, and behind it goes for a corner.
It's good play, good intricate 1 and 2 touch play, wasn't it? The changes, good movement, sharper play, and it's the 1 and 2 touch stuff that opens the opportunity for Batshuayi. But they need to do that a lot more. You see, it had Brighton in trouble defensively. Ryan comes out to make it's a great block actually from Lewis Dunk.
The goalkeeper got in the way, but it was the defender instead. The corner comes in, but Stevens heads clear. We're into a minimum of 2 minutes additional time at the end of the first half. Is Zaha into the box again, tries to reverse ball forward, but Brighton clear. And first sense really that the home fans are starting to get a bit frustrated with the way Palace are playing here. Zaha dithering mainly. Stevens hooks this ball clear for Brighton. They'll be happy enough to go in at half-time. A 0-0 up. Palace have had far and away more possession. 63%, 7 shots, 2 on target. Brighton have 1 shot, 1 on target, 1 goal. Challenge here on Wan-Bissaka down the right. Nothing comes of it. Townsend coming in field now. Corner of the penalty area, clips a high ball into the box. More in hope there, I think that someone was going to attack it, didn't really look up. Zaha again down the left, into the box, MacArthur, bending one towards goal. Thought it was going to nestle into the far corner there. It took a touch on the way through and goes behind for probably the final corner of the half.
Better, slightly quicker in their play, and that's the difference. When they move the ball quickly, it's a great block, to be honest, from Duffy.
Milivojevic spotting this ball up on the right hand side, the wind playing its part again. He hopes the ball is going to stay in position inside the corner quadrant. Last chance, 5th corner of the half for Palace. Swung away from goal by Milivojevic. Awful delivery though, and just when you want a good delivery, he can't come up with one. Back out it goes though. Townsend into the penalty area. Moves the ball onto his left foot, puts a high ball into the box, headed away by Bernardo. Comes back on Tompkins. Oh, there's a challenge on him there. The referee says no penalty. On first viewing, I thought there was contact, and the referee blows the half-time whistle. Should Palace have had a penalty right at the end of it?
Well, it certainly looked like it was a penalty. Did he play for it? I don't know. It's a foul. I've got to say, he's just in the air as he's challenged, but look at it again. It's a soft one.
It's a silly challenge to knock out. Anywhere else on the pitch, he gets a free kick.
Yeah, I agree. I think the refs thought about it very quickly and then ignored it very quickly.
Well, Brighton leading this one by a 0-0. We could have had a penalty at both ends, though. That one there a second ago for Palace, while Brighton should have had one at the other end as well for a foul on Dunk. But at the moment, it's Glenn Murray's goal inside 20 minutes, which separates the two sides. The half-time score here, Crystal Palace 0, Brighton Hove Albion 1. Half-time analysis to come very shortly. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Go to TalkSport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click TalkSport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the ultimate football fan tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor game. Available online and for free at TalkSport.com/predictor.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Kane now on his left foot, bends the shot, what a goal from Harry Kane! MBE! Stunning finish with his left foot into the top corner. It's wonderful from Spurs. It's magnificent from Harry Kane. No wonder the Queen wanted to bestow an honour upon him. What a goal to celebrate.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Salah's running himself to take this one. Van Dijk's there. Lovren's there. Fabinho's there to open his account for Liverpool. And just as City go 2-1 down at Leicester, Liverpool stamp their authority at Anfield. Yet more. Liverpool 4, Newcastle 0. Title challenge on. Are they now the favourites?
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league.
Aubameyang through to Torreira inside the area. Torreira scores! And surely now, North London is red again. Arsenal 4, Tottenham 2. Here's Maddison for Leicester. Vardy chance, Vardy goal. Leicester City out of nowhere have got the lead. Jamie Vardy, who's been virtually anonymous this afternoon, isn't anymore. Wonderful finish by Vardy, and it's Chelsea 0, Leicester City 1.
Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
The Premier League preview show with Talk Sport.
Pogba leaves it, Rashford hits it, oh, it's a goal, it's the first goal of the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era.
Talk Sport's Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
Cardiff City legend Danny Gavidan joins us on the preview show. He's got some new teeth. The former Millwall captain Matt Lawrence with us on the preview show. Former Liverpool striker Neil Mellor is on the preview show this week.
Subscribe to the podcast today at talksport.com.
This is Premier League Live.
It's half-time here at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace 0, Brighton Hove Albion 1. Glenn Murray with the only goal of the game so far. We'll discuss it in a few moments' time, but here are the first half highlights. And a long ball forward. Oh, it's been missed here. It presents a chance to Glenn Murray, who goes for goal, and he finds the net in sensational fashion. He only needs one chance, and Glenn Murray has taken it to reach a century of goals in Brighton colours in the league. But that's secondary here, because he's given the Seagulls the biggest lead in the derby. Just 19 minutes gone. Crystal Palace 0, Brighton 1.
And it's a mistake from James Tompkins. Misses his header, ball bounces through to Murray. He's still got a lot to do, and he's at the angle, and it's a wonderful finish, I've got to say.
Well, there's a gap here for MacArthur down the left-hand side into the box. Didn't really catch his cross right. Zaha coming in! A really good chance there for Crystal Palace. It looked as though Zaha would fire that ball into the bottom corner. Corner from Milivojevic. The Serb swings it in now. Looping header. Great save by Ryan. So half-time, Palace 0, Brighton 1. Former Palace winger Paul Mortimer still alongside me. Paul, what do you make of that first half then? We had one goal, perhaps two penalties.
Yep, I've got to say, I do think that, it did look like Tompkins was fouled, but we have the benefit of looking at it 50,000 different angles, and maybe it wasn't, but it was one of those, I'm not sure what Palace were trying to do. Everything was just too slow. The reliance on Zaha and Townsend didn't work. Batshuayi has not, I don't think you name-checked him that often. He wasn't in the game. They were fairly comfortable, Brighton, and it took a mistake from Tompkins from a long, just a long kick-up, punt up the pitch. He still had lots to do on the angle, Murray. Finished it beautifully.
Well, it's 1-0 here. Featured game at 3 o'clock is from St Mary's as Southampton take on Tottenham. Here are the thoughts now of Ralph Hasenhüttl and Mauricio Pochettino.
I don't know if it's for him now a big disadvantage because he can sit on the stands. I know that he can have his headphone now on, so he's always in touch with his staff downstairs, and he has a very good view on the pitch. That's not really a disadvantage, I think. And in the halftime, and I think before the game, you can be in the dressing room. So I think they have changed it because at first you didn't have to be part of the team and are not allowed to go in the dressing room, are not allowed to speak with the people on the bench.
It's not going to be, of course, that the player won the coach and the manager in the touchline, and it's much better the communication. But I have Jesus, I have Tony, I have Nicky, I have plenty of staff that can translate the same ideas and can translate, and the communication make easier. Of course, that always in football happen around the world. And of course, I trust in my people, and of course the player are mature enough to performance in the way that we prepare or we wanted to play.
So Southampton against Spurs, the 3 o'clock featured game for us here on Premier League Live. Paul Mortimer with me, looking ahead to that one now. A 2-match touchline ban from Mauricio Pochettino, who was shouting in Mike Dean's face. Is that justified? Is it fair?
Yeah, I think it's harsh because it's out of character for him. He apologised, he recognised, he apologised. I think he thought that might go some way to appease him, but the fact that he went on the pitch and accosted the ref and was aggressively shouting in his face, I think that's what goes against him.
Do you think Spurs will go down there and get the points today? Southampton scrapping at the other end of the table. They're 2 points above the relegation zone at the minute. Spurs almost find themselves in, well, not quite a league of their own because they're 3 points ahead of Manchester United, but they're in a strange old position now where they're really just fighting for the Premier League, for the Champions League for the rest of this season.
I think Spurs have to win, because if Manchester United win tomorrow, they're level points, the whole thing changes. I mean, you consider, I think you said a little while ago they were going for second point. They were 2 off the top, so they've declined a little bit. But Southampton are going to be a difficult nut to crack. I think they were brilliant last week. Didn't win. I think it's going to be a tight test, but I think Spurs just have a little bit too much.
And Spurs actually announcing in the last day or so that they are going to have their first game at their new stadium, hopefully at the start of next month, against one of the two teams we're watching here today, actually, against Palace or Brighton, depending on the results of the FA Cup games next weekend. We'll see how they go, but Spurs hopefully moving back to White Hart Lane in the very near future. They've got to have a couple of test events first to see how the staff and the stadium cope with people in there, and we shall see how they go. Crystal Palace against Brighton at half-time here. Second half coming up very shortly. What are the messages going to be from the two managers at half-time? Do you think Hughton's just going to try and close this game down now? We saw after they got that goal, they were just happy to sit in and break out.
More of the same. That's what they're going to do next. They're going to still try and nick chances going forward. Palace are going to have to move the ball quicker. Going to have to make runs. You know, McCarthy made a decent run off the ball. They've got to do that. Got to stop wanting the ball to feet. Batshuayi's got to be involved a little bit more. They've just, you know what? It's simply put, run about more. That's it. They've got the quality. They've got to show more desire and desire to run in and around and off the ball.
You seeing anyone on the bench though who could come on and make a real impact for them? Jordan Ayew's kind of really hot and cold, and Benteke just can't score goals seemingly.
They need legs and craft. So you're looking at Kouyaté and Max Meyer. Max Meyer hasn't really hit the heights that you thought he would, but he's got the craft they need, because it's not working with Townsend, it's not working with Zaha. Brighton have done really well to negate any of their strengths, so you need something else, and he will give you something else. Ayew, I'm not sure about. Benteke, I just don't see it anymore. Maybe that he might come on, I don't know, but Meyer would be the one for me because he's got a bit more craft and guile.
Just looking ahead to the games tomorrow very quickly, got 30 seconds. Arsenal against Manchester United, the late game, a game that was basically the epitome of the Premier League maybe 10, 15 years ago. Yes. Everyone loved to watch it. Does it still carry that gravitas for you?
I think it will do at the moment, because they're a couple of points away from each other, and they're both vying for fourth place. So I don't think a point will be any good to either, but I worry about whether either of them is really going to go for it.
The second half coming up very shortly here at Selhurst Park. The subs out getting warm at the moment in the South London sunshine. Will Brighton hold on and get 3 valuable points to try and steer themselves towards safety even further? Or will Palace be able to come back in this second half and take something from the game? We'll find out. You're listening to Premier League Live. The players just going through their final motions here at the moment before this second half gets underway. In terms of the Brighton changes, let's have a look at their bench. David Button, the goalkeeper, Gaitan Bong, Beram Kayal, Lokadir's come onto the bench now because Murray's missed out. Izquierdo, Solly March and Dan Burn, they don't really have a lot to turn to either, do they, to be honest?
Well, Izquierdo's is decent. I mean, he owes a performance, I've got to say. Lokadir just hasn't really hit the heights that you expect, so March is decent. I don't know, they should have enough to see the game out.
We'll see what Chris Hughton does. You're listening to Premier League Live.
The Premier League Preview Show with Talk Sport.
Pogba leaves it. Rashford hits it. Oh, it's a goal. It's the first goal of the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era.
Talk Sport's Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
Joining us on the preview show, the former Arsenal striker and most stylish man in football, Jeremy Aliadier. I didn't want him here, but he's turned up anyway. It's the former Chelsea man, Clive Walker.
Subscribe to the podcast today at talksport.com.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Kane now on his left foot, vents a shot, what a goal from Harry Kane! MBE! Stunning finish with his left foot into the top corner. It's wonderful from Spurs. It's magnificent from Harry Kane. No wonder the Queen wanted to bestow an honour upon him. What a goal to celebrate.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Salah's readying himself to take this one. Van Dijk's there. Lovren's there. Fabinho's there to open his account for Liverpool. And just as City
City go 2-1 down at Leicester. Liverpool stamp their authority at Anfield. Yet more. Liverpool 4, Newcastle 0. Title challenge on. Are they now the favourites?
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league.
Aubameyang through to Torreira inside the area. Torreira scores! And surely now, North London is red again. Arsenal 4, Tottenham 2.
Here's Maddison for Leicester. Vardy chance. Vardy goal. Leicester City out of nowhere have got the lead. Jamie Vardy, who's been virtually anonymous this afternoon, isn't anymore. Wonderful finish by Vardy, and it's Chelsea 0, Leicester City 1.
Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
Go to TalkSport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click TalkSport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the Ultimate Football Fan Tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor game. Available online and for free at TalkSport.com/predictor.
This is Premier League Live.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Crystal Palace against Brighton and Hove Albion from Selhurst Park. I'm your host, James Field, and alongside me is the former Charlton and Palace winger, Paul Mortimer. This is Premier League Live. The second half about to get underway here in South London. We did put a poll up for you at half-time at TalkSport Live on Twitter. Should Palace have had a penalty before half-time? Tompkins fouled by Knockaert, as we saw it on the replay. And the poll at the moment, Paul Mortimer, says that 68% of people think that they shouldn't have had a penalty.
Yeah, it's about right. I mean, having watched it, initially you're thinking, oh, definite penalty. Having watched it 3 or 4 times, I think we're sort of thinking, nah, not really.
We will see what happens with that. I think that kind of thing will be very interesting next year with VAR.
Yes, I do. I think they'd have had a look at it without a doubt, wouldn't they?
I think the interesting thing is psychologically is that the way it works, certainly second half underway, by the way, you see the VAR, who's obviously in a remote location, recommending the referees to go look at it, and I wonder if that creates a seed of doubt in the referee's mind as to whether...
I think it does, because the ref will just go, nah, not at all. And now he's been made, and everyone now knows that he's going to have a look at it. So now he's got, especially depending on what the occasion is, he's got a real decision to make, hasn't he? So yeah, I don't know if it's a blessing and a curse, I guess.
That's all to come next season when VAR is introduced. A lot of work to be done on the system between now and then, but it is going to change this game and the way we watch it.
You have the problems in midweek with the Champions League where it took 4 minutes, I think. You just can't have that. A couple of them in one half, what happens? You know, we can have 100-minute games.
Yeah, I watch plenty of Bundesliga games where it's used, or the system's in place, but you know, the whole match goes by without it being used, and then you see another match where you see it 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
it's just like,
yeah.
Anyway, back to Palace against Brighton. Nothing happened yet. The two sides feeling each other out again. No changes at the break for either side. Tompkins in possession here for Palace. A long, hopeful ball forward towards Zaha on the left. Brighton able to get this one clear, and Knockaert helps us out from the back. 2 players on yellow cards from the first half. They are Anthony Knockaert and Martin Montoya. Brighton in their green kit coming forward here. On the left-hand side they have it here with Johan Bash. Hasn't scored for Brighton yet. High ball played forward here by Dunk. Breaks in midfield now for Johan Bash, who goes for goal. That one was moving. You hear that one from range. It was straight at the goalkeeper in the end. Gaeta able to hold on.
It's a great strike if he just, because he could have driven on another 5-6 yards. The goal is much bigger then. It gives him a better opportunity to pick a spot. Savable, and Gaeta threw his cap on it, so to speak.
Could do with the cap as well in this sunshine we're having here. MacArthur carrying the ball forward. He's into the Brighton half. Lays it out to the left side to Van Aanholt. He's wearing gloves today. It's really not that cold. Zaha.
You speak for yourself. I've got gloves on.
Milivojevic. Van Aanholt. Van Aanholt again on the left wing. Zaha. Space for into, tries to slide it forward in between two defenders. Schlupp and Van Aanholt were there. It's gone out of play. Palace attacking the Holmesdale Road end in this second half. Throw in here has gone Brighton's way from referee Craig Pawson.
Wow.
Zaha not too happy, whacking his finger at the official.
It's interesting that he saw that. Never saw the Brighton guy get pulled down in the box which he was looking at. Very strange what referees see and what they don't see, I've got to say.
Zaha inside to MacArthur, back wide to Wilfried Zaha again. Doesn't come to anything though. Batshuayi edge of the penalty area, twisting and turning, good footwork there. Played square now, Townsend edge of the box, throwing players on the deck there. Penalty! Palace with a penalty within 4 minutes of the second half starting. And the referee, Craig Pawson, this time couldn't have had a better view. Townsend clipped in the box, and Milivojevic will have a chance to level things up from the spot.
Townsend cuts in. There's a definite penalty. I think it's David Proper. He beats a couple, and yep, he sticks his foot out, and that's what he does. He sticks his foot out. He allows his foot to be clipped by Townsend. It's a definite penalty, and you saw very few Brighton players complained, and that gives you an idea.
From 18 penalties taken, he's scored 16 of them. Can he do the same here?
You know, this will be interesting because the wind's in his face. The wind is in his face, and it keeps blowing the ball off. And you can see Milivojevic has got a problem. The ball keeps running. It's going to be interesting because if that moves as he takes the penalty, the whole thing changes. And if the wind gets up, he's really going to have to strike it.
This is a real struggle. He might have to do the old school kick a divot in the turf.
Well, he's going to have to rush it because if it pops off now, he's going to have to go back and do it again.
Pops out his cheeks, the Palace captain steps up to the ball now and strokes it into the corner. And Palace are back level again. There's a bit of a tussle for the ball in the back of the net. Milivojevic turns to the fans, lifts his arms and says, come on, let's do this. It's Crystal Palace 1, Brighton 1.
Fantastic penalty, I've got to say. Really good mental strength because, you know, the wind could have sort of played havoc with his mental agility in terms of taking it. He's done it. It's brilliant. They're back in the game. Out of nothing, really. Chris Hughton will be fuming 5 minutes into the half. The first thing he'd have been saying is no mistakes. They have to earn their way back into this game at Crystal Palace, and they've got it without even having to work at it. He'd be fuming, Chris Hughton.
Such a silly challenge as well, wasn't it, really? Although they were on the edge of the penalty area, that was a bit flustered, and it's a silly challenge to make. He was going nowhere.
And the thing about it is there were 3 or 4 players around, so you know you could have let him shoot and block it. But the minute you stick your foot out at an attacking player in the penalty area, disaster's going to strike.
Palace coming forward again. Zaha down the left-hand side. Milivojevic has now scored penalties in both fixtures between the two sides this season. This one far more important than the last. Players were just diving in though, weren't they?
All day long.
I'm seeing a replay here, I think maybe to suggest that Townsend... Oh, he drags his foot.
Oh yeah,
he drags his foot.
But you see, the thing about it is, he offers his foot. The minute Proper offers his foot, there, he's in trouble.
But that doesn't give you a right to dive into it, does it?
No, but what you're going to try and do is you're going to try and navigate your way over it. And that's the problem. It's in his way, so he's obligated to actually move. The minute he clips him and goes down...
He's got to evade.
He's got to evade it. And if he's doing that and it takes him an unnatural course... By that I mean he dives or falls over, the ref's going to give a penalty.
Murray down the right-hand side here for Brighton. Puts a low ball into the middle and doesn't get enough on it to take it past the first man, and Palace will play it away. I don't think that... Maybe we've got different views in it here. Whether he's got his leg stuck out or not, I don't think that gives Townsend the chance to be deceitful and drag his foot along the floor there, because he is... In the end, he's initiated that contact.
Well, no, the thing about it is the minute he dangles his foot, he's in trouble.
Oh yeah, from the defence point of view.
That's the problem.
But from Townsend, he shouldn't really be...
No, the thing about that is, dangle your foot, I'm saying, don't mind if I do. Thank you very much, because what he's done is he's bought a penalty. But Proper has given him the decision to make, I can definitely nick something in. Don't dangle your foot. If you do it, you
give them a chance, of course.
You're giving him an opportunity. You open the door for the possibility that the ref has to make a decision. Don't do it.
It's 1-1. And we have a game on our hands again here. Paul Mortimer wasn't going to another game after this. I think we'd carry on arguing about that penalty for the rest of the afternoon, but man's got places to be.
Yeah, but I mean, I can see what you're saying. I really can. But
we see it more and more with every week that goes by, don't we?
Yeah.
I mean,
but you see, the thing about that, it's trouble.
Oh, a mistake at the back, and Palace could be in again. A chance on the edge there, Batshuayi plays it square. It's Townsend inside the box again. Andros Townsend! And this time the Palace players get the block in, and it's hooked away by Montoya. But all of a sudden, Brighton here are scrambling all over the place. They seem so flustered.
Well, Duffy's got lucky, because I think he gives Batshuayi a little pull back. He does pull him back. I think it may well be the wind that's done him. It's died in the wind, and he just pulls him back a little bit, but it's not a problem. Batshuayi takes too long, and then it's just too much fiffing and faffing about, and they don't really use the advantage that they had, Crystal Palace.
I'll tell you what, it's a good job Liverpool aren't playing in this game. Jurgen Klopp will be blaming the wing left, right,
I tell
and
you
centre.
what, but it is an issue. It has been an issue. It has played a part.
Dan, out to the left-hand side here for Van Aanholt, down the line to Zaha, knocks it off Montoya, throw in Palace. It's only one way this game's going at the moment, isn't it? Palace well in the ascendancy.
It appears that way, but they've got to make it count, and the problem is they're not at the moment.
Bissouma, who was ticked off by the referee in the first half for persistent fouling, has calmed down significantly since then. Jahanbakhsh on the left, skipping back into his own half, tries the return ball there with Stevens. Sliding in is Tompkins. It's a good interception there for Crystal Palace. Milivojevic into the centre circle now for MacArthur.
Nice pitch.
Poor ball, way too far ahead of Van Aanholt.
It's this 5-minute spell where Brighton just have to clear their heads a little bit. They've had far too much action around their penalty area and in their defending third, so they've just got to clear their heads a little bit.
Well, out to the left-hand side towards Murray, who's putting in plenty of leg work up front, but he's not really getting too many bodies around him when he does receive the ball. Not quick enough anyway. 10 minutes gone in this second half. Palace 1, Brighton 1. Here come Palace forward now with MacArthur. To Zaha on the left-hand side, but it's another poor ball, and the fans behind the goal getting very frustrated, as is Wilfred Zaha.
Well, that first ball through the lines from the midfield to the attacking third by Milivojevic into MacArthur, who's on the half-turn, beautiful pass, drives on a little bit to 25 yards out, MacArthur, and then he's got decisions to make, and he's picked the wrong decision, poor execution, Brighton throwing.
The opener from Glenn Murray. His 100th league goal for Brighton. The first came in a 3-0 win in League One against Crewe back in February 2008 at the Withdean. And they've come a long way since then. They're in the top flight of English football. But FA Cup quarter-final on the horizon next weekend away here, well, not too far away from here, 6 miles away at Millwall, which will be another intense atmosphere, you can guarantee that. A competition that really has opened up this season. Not too many of the big boys left in it. So they see an opportunity there to get themselves at least into one game at Wembley. Townsend slides the ball forward here, edge of the penalty area, coming forward again, it's smashed there by Schlupp, but well blocked by the Brighton defender on the edge of his own penalty area there, and Brighton playing out quickly to the left hand side. Jahanbakhsh onto it, nods it down, great takedown by the Iranian, keeps it in play as well. On the left wing, still Jahanbakhsh, edge of the penalty area, cuts inside and then seems to have his leg taken away there and slips and gives the ball away to Palace, who will break out here with Townsend down the right hand side, running here at Bernardo. Andros Townsend comes inside onto his left foot, back out onto his right, he's having to go it alone here, Townsend, no one around him, and in the end Stevens managed to push the ball away. Surely players have got to get around him.
Well, it's not just that, I mean, he's got to do more with the ball, he's got to pose more of a problem. He's run up the ball up the pitch, fantastic. Now you're going to go and take him on, stop cutting back, go and take him on, go and drive on and really expose the defender, but at no point did you see him doing that, and it was very easily taken off him. It's got to be better in attacking areas.
Approaching the hour point here at Selhurst Park. It's been a very watchable game so far, very open. Certainly in this second half. One towards Murray, hooked away by Wan-Bissaka. Stevens calming influence sitting in front of the two central defenders. We're able to see graphics at half-time, various stats and bits and pieces from the first half. I don't know if you saw it, Paul, but they were showing the average positions for Brighton. They were almost defending as a 5.
They literally were.
Here's Zaha down the left-hand side, tries to put the ball into the middle. It's not a great delivery though, and Brighton able to clear. They'll try and break out now with Knockaert down the right-hand side, driving forward up against Dan here. Anthony Knockaert coming in field. Still Knockaert, he's got options left and right. Anthony Knockaert lays it left, but didn't have enough on it to reach Murray, and Palace able to play the ball away. What was happening in that first half was that Bernardo was tucking in, wasn't he? And then Johan Bash was pulling back as a left back almost. Probably because of the fact that Wan-Bissaka was going forward so much past Townsend that he had to go with him.
Not necessarily the case now. Just for the last 6-7 minutes, it's been very open. Palace attacked, and then the ball popped out to Knockaert, who attacked not as great. The ball came back to Palace. They thought they'd go forward, and there's just been a lull now where everyone's sort of catching their breath, I suppose.
Van Aanholt inside here to Scott Dan. Some of the subs getting warm, but no imminent changes coming up here. And Selhurst.
No, that's terrible.
Ball given away again, this time by Schlupp. Played forward, and Brighton getting bodies into advanced areas here. Into Murray in midfield, and his ball is poor. Picked up by Batshuayi. A chance for him to run again, the Belgian. Running here against Dunk on the right-hand side as Palace come forward, but again, he's crowded out this time. He'll take a throw on the right-hand side. He goes over under a challenge from Dunk. Lands in the mud. Batshuayi saying to the official, how's that not a free kick? He's saying there was a push, and the official just tells him to go away.
It's off the pitch, so no matter, I suppose that's what he's saying. I don't think he saw it, but there's, Dunk's just left a bit on him, reminds him that he's in a game.
Good atmosphere here at the moment. These two sides hate each other more than anybody else. Palace have won a corner here down the right-hand side as they look to turn this game around.
And sometimes in games like this where your on-field play, your open play's not working as well, set pieces become important. Opportunity to nick something that possibly you played that you don't deserve.
Corner on the right-hand side here then for Palace. Milivojevic will be the man to take once again. The man who got the equaliser from the penalty spot has one from the corner point here. Swings it away from goal. It comes to Van Aanholt, edge of the area, nodded on by Dan. And a slight push in there. The referee spots it. Free kick Brighton. And a chance for them to get out and reorganise again. Reminder that 3 o'clock, our main game, Southampton against Spurs. Elsewhere, Cardiff, West Ham. Huddersfield taking on Bournemouth. Huddersfield's going to have to win that one if they're to have any chance at all of mounting the most unlikely of survival bids.
That would be the greatest of greatest steps, wouldn't it?
Huddersfield beat Wolves the other week. They can.
Yeah, they did.
They can mix it.
But the problem is they can't put it together for a consistent run, which is why they find themselves down the bottom.
Huddersfield beaten by Brighton last Saturday by a single goal to nil. Bottom at the moment, Huddersfield played 29, 14 points. They've all played 29. Fulham on 17. Cardiff in the third relegation spot on 25, so an 8-point gap from Fulham to Cardiff. They're still very much in the mix. Southampton 2 points above the drop zone on 27. Burnley on 30. A point here for Brighton would take them to 31. That would give them a 6-point gap ahead of Cardiff, and it's not going to be enough, is it? They're going to need a bit more than that.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
But if they'd have got a win here psychologically, I think that would have pushed them very, very close to the point where they can say we're going to be safe.
That's what they need. And you know what? It's going to be interesting. 61 minutes gone. Who's going to actually take the risk? Who's going to be brave enough to go and want to win the game? Because I don't think a point is good enough for either side. So at some point, someone's got to gamble.
Oh, Murray just stepping into his man there. I think is it Milivojevic who's gone over him there?
Landed awkwardly too. He's been in the wars, hasn't he, Milivojevic?
He's now got a injury in a very delicate part. He's got a back injury, he's got an ankle injury. I think he'll be having an extended appointment with the
it's a very
masseur and physios tomorrow.
As he landed on his back, his bottom half sort of twisted at a different angle. It's a painful thing for him, it really is.
I think they've targeted him as such today. It's just been very unfortunate,
hasn't he?
Man in the wrong place.
It was one of them also. The ball wouldn't come down, it was caught in the wind, and shame.
He's back up on his feet though, which is good to see.
He'll live.
Good character, Luka Milivojevic, in interviews. He's a very good player as well.
Very good.
Can certainly take a penalty. It wasn't the greatest penalty for the equaliser here, but he did enough. The goalkeeper going the wrong way.
Well, it went in. That's good enough.
Doesn't always need to be enough for post. Here's Zaha, edge of the area, rolls it into the box to Townsend, who slips. Would have been a good chance there for Palace as well, because he had a teammate hanging around on the edge of the box he could have laid the ball to.
Could he took it first time? So that's the thing, when you're an attacker, a centre forward, you're ready to shoot. Comes into him, whip it in the far corner before the goalkeeper has an opportunity to move, but he miscontrols it and the moment's gone.
Dan to Van Aanholt. Forward to Zaha, motoring past Montoya down the left-hand side, who's already picked up a yellow card for fouling Zaha. Zaha into the box now, into MacArthur, who works his way back wide. In the corner of the penalty area is Patrick Van Aanholt. Square from him to Milivojevic. Lovely ball cut down the right-hand side, just too much on it to take it past Wan-Bissaka. That was a lovely idea there, though, to take it in behind the defender.
Great ball, because I think it might be Knockaert, is watching the ball. You've got to be able to see the ball and the player. The minute he looks at the ball, off they go. They're in sync, Wan-Bissaka and Milivojevic, and the ball's just clipped that little bit too hard.
I just get the feeling if Palace keep on having this pressure and don't get a goal from it, then Brighton may well do something at the other end of the field. They've still just had 2 shots in this game.
Yeah. I think there'll be 1 or 2 chances to come. It's not going to be a game of loads of chances, but I think there's at least a couple left in it, and it depends on who they fall to.
They've had 58% of the ball in the second half, Crystal Palace. With a free kick here, some of the fans moaning that it's been taken from the wrong place.
Well, it is. Knockaert's moved it 5 yards and then moved it another couple of yards. And now he's moaning that Batshuayi is too close.
Free kick from the left, sent high to the right. It's over the head of Stevens and will fly straight out of play. Not sure if he can blame the wind for that one or not, or whether it was just overhit there by the man who's top of the assist charts this season for Brighton and was a key part of their promotion campaign. Stevens nodded inside here, nodded on this time by Proper, who haven't seen too much of in the game. Johan Bash into the area, into the box now. Murray had a very acute angle on the right, but he was flagged offside anyway. Puffs out his cheeks and looks over to the assistant and says, hey, come on, that wasn't offside. But I think he knows deep down that he was complaining beyond the last defender there.
And the good thing is, whenever the team has good 1 and 2 touch play, sharp movement and running, they get an opportunity. But neither team has really managed to be consistent in that.
Dan. High ball towards the right-hand side here, the diagonal again from the centre half, but Brighton will bring it back, but as they play it forward, it flies into the arms of Brighto. Came in to replace Wayne Hennessy today, who's not in the squad. We'll get the full SP on what's happened to him after this game. No logical explanation as to why he hasn't been included. There certainly wasn't any injury news about him in the last couple of days. Palace able to keep that one under wraps.
Wonderful play, defensive play from Wan-Bissaka. He's so athletic, and them long legs, he really does get to the pitch of things. And, you know, no wonder he's made more tackles and won more tackles. He's timed them beautifully.
He's 21 years old. Palace's only club to date.
Yeah, for now.
Do you see him as someone who can be picked off in the side?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it'll tell you where Palace are in their ambitions if they sell people like him, I've got to say. But some of the top clubs will come sniffing around, without a doubt. Without a doubt. So many rumours going around already because he's been that good.
Murray going over on halfway here. I guess the thing he's got to consider is, does he stay at a lesser club and play every week, or does he move up a level and accept that he's not going to play as many matches, which for someone at his age is a big call to make, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the case. But then in reserve they have Joel Ward, so they've already got a fullback, so they can afford to sell him. But like I say, it will tell you where they are if they get rid of someone like him.
Batshuayi playing it forward, he gives it away. Zaha was waiting for it. Brighton will break out here. The game opening up in the last few moments. Bissouma forward by Stevens. Play breaking down, much to the anger of Chris Hughton. Really not caused Palace any problems in the second half. Here's Zaha driving at the Brighton back line into the penalty area. Skips inside onto his right foot. Still Wilfred Zaha tried one trick too much there in the end, and the move breaks down for Crystal Palace. He'd done the hard bit. He fashioned the space there. Just needed either the final shot or the final ball to pick out a teammate. And
we're seeing the blessing and the curse of Wilfred Zaha. Beautiful feat to create an opportunity, but it's not quite right. So I've got to take another touch. The problem that happens is those defenders you've bamboozled have gathered their senses and completely closed him down. Got to nick a yard and just shoot. If it's blocked, it's blocked, but he's got to start getting shots in.
The kick here taken too quickly on the halfway line.
Surprise for me, there's no movement from the benches. They seem to be content with where they are.
I think it's what you were saying, is that no one wants to make that first move, and until someone does for whatever reason, I think the status quo will remain out there. Murray must be frustrated because he's really struggled to get involved in the game, not only in this second half, I guess the first as well, because just hasn't really had the bodies around him. And now Chris Hughton having a chat there with his backroom staff about how they could alter things in their favour.
But that's how it's been with Murray. He's worked his socks off and he get booked now.
Frustration.
That's all it is. He's worked his socks off, and he's doing it by himself. That's the thing. He's doing it by himself. And it's a needless. It really is a need. And Jeffrey Schlupp has the right to be peeved because it's needless. He's nowhere near the ball. I'm just going to stop you because I'm frustrated, and that's it. It's ridiculous because you know what centre forwards are like. Any other reckless challenges, he can find himself in trouble. Milivojevic again is limping. He's been kicked by every player so far from Brighton. It's incredible.
I was listening to someone talking about Dusan Tadic, actually.
Yeah.
His fellow countryman, actually, who obviously played earlier this week for Ajax against Real Madrid. He was saying that he had to leave the Premier League because otherwise his career would have been 5 years shorter than it probably would have been because of the demands and the toughness of it. His Townsend inside the box, but his shot is poor, high over the park. And I guess, as silly as that might sound, he might have a point.
If you're not used to it, the sheer volume of everything in the Premier League, training, games, FA Cup, League Cup, no break in the window, although that's coming. The whole thing, it will, if you're not used to it could stunt the career prospects, I should think, of especially foreign players who have a winter break, who the pace of the game is slower, and it's far more pleasant playing abroad than it is sometimes in the Premier League and the leagues below.
And if you're playing for a half-decent club as well, worth remembering that Murray thought he was going to go for goal there from 40 yards. He's lost it now, though. Palace playing it out. We'll come back to that point in a second. Here's Van Aanholt over the halfway line. Slides it down the left side towards Zaha. Didn't have enough on it there. Montoya puts it out of play for a throw. Not every foreign league has two cups either. We have the League Cup and the FA Cup here. That's right. They have it in Portugal and they have it in France as well, but Germany and Spain, they only have the single cup. So if you're playing for a decent team, then you might have two cup runs as well.
It's the byproduct of success, isn't it? If you're successful, you need a big squad, a la Man City.
Milivojevic, lovely ball wide here to Zaha, left wing. Rolls the ball underneath his foot, guides it back into Luka Milivojevic. Curls one towards goal. See what he's trying to do there, try and hook that one into the far corner, wraps his boot right around that one, but in the end sends it a couple of yards wide.
Well, about time they take a gamble, because what happens when you shoot is everyone rushes out to you and you can slip players in. But when they know you're not going to shoot, it looks like a substitution's coming along looks like Max Meyer for Crystal Palace possibly. Yeah, if you shoot, irrespective of where it goes, the defenders have to come out and shut you down, which opens up little gaps for you to slip other players in.
Dean Kiley going through a few set plays at the moment with Meyer, and Brighton making a change as well, so tit for tat, both going for one at the same time. 14 attempts to 2 in Palace's favour in this game, which has summed up how the game has been perfectly. Brighton, you just get the feeling they're going to have a big chance in this game. Here's Knockaert down the right wing, running here at Patrick van Aanholt, into the box to Bissouma, inside the box. He was nearly nudged to the floor there by Schlupp. Back he goes, Knockaert, Bissouma, back towards the edge of the penalty area, hooked into the box now towards Murray. Tompkins with a less than convincing header away. Saka there with a great header out, and Townsend helps it to halfway. Now Palace can move out from the back. Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the right wing gives the ball away. And Bernardo will start again here for Brighton. 73 minutes gone. Palace 1, Brighton 1 here on Premier League Live. The first game of the weekend in the Premier League. Plenty more big clashes to come as well. 3 for you tomorrow. Here's Knockaert for Brighton, edge of the area, on his left foot. Curling one! Oh, it's a stunner! Anthony Knockaert gives Brighton the lead again! In a goal that will be played time and time again. There can't have been too many better hits in this derby over the years. It flies into the top corner, and Matt Ryan flies down the pitch to join in the celebrations in front of the Brighton fans, who are going absolutely mad because their team lead Palace by 2-1.
Well, he's done very little, Knockaert, in the game, to be truthfully honest. The ball's, I think Dale Stevens knocks the ball out to him. He's onside. Van Aanholt doesn't get close enough, quick enough. He allows him to miscontrol. He's inside right, cuts inside, has a little touch, and it's in off his foot. I've got to say, I'm behind it. The minute you heard me say it's in, soon as because he started it out. No, 2 goalkeepers aren't saving that. They're the type of goals you dream of sometimes. In off the post, no one's getting near it. And could that be the match winner?
Well, we said a moment ago that Brighton might have half a chance. That wasn't even half a chance. He had no right to score from there, but he put it in the only place where the goalkeeper was not going to save it. Capable of the sublime, Anthony Knockaert comes up with an astonishing hit there to make it 2-1 to Brighton.
Well, sometimes, you know, there's the odd goal, and Knockaert's coming off now. He scores and off he comes. Solly March has gone on, and it's one of those, we're going to keep what we got, we're going to keep hold of what we got. But there's 15 minutes to go, and I fully expect Palace now to fly at the game.
Both of Knockaert's goals in 2019 have been in the FA Cup. That a first in the league for quite a while. Second of the season.
What a way to score your first goal.
We had a great view of it as well, didn't we? Right behind it there.
It's in. As soon as it's 2 yards off his foot, it's in. It's just a wonderful finish.
Are Brighton going to do the double against Palace for the first time since 1984?
What's important for Palace now is they don't panic. That's the most important thing. They don't panic. They carry on playing.
MacArthur, left side inside the Brighton half. Van Aanholt puts the low cross in. Townsend touches it on. Headed away by Dunk back there. March trying to help it further out now. Palace help it back forward, but it's a throw in to Brighton in line with the edge of their own penalty area. We are going to see this change now, are we?
Probably MacArthur normally would come off. Townsend. Wow, that's interesting, because Townsend is normally, one of those that creates chances, but he has faded a little bit in the game. He's not been really had the impact he would normally have.
And Benteke coming on as well. So on that first one, presumably Schlupp will move wide now, with Meyer tucking into the middle. And the other change is going to be MacArthur coming off for Benteke. So this will be a change in system now.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that Roy Hodgson would have made that change beforehand. Perhaps his arm is forced now. Yeah.
I tend to think they'll probably go. I'm expecting Batshuayi and Benteke to probably play up front, or a 3.
Let's see what happens. Poor touch straight away from Benteke, and the fans are already onto him, which is a tad harsh. Just to say again what I was saying earlier, he's had 9 appearances this season without scoring, 3 goals in his last 41 games. Some decline since the days at Villa where he was banging them in for fun.
Unplayable. In spells, he was unplayable, but it's not the same player. It's as simple as that. It is not the same player. He's not as effective. He doesn't frighten you anymore.
Attitude, complacency, what's the...
Confidence. Confidence. It's not that he's not trying. It's not that he doesn't want to. Of course he wants to. But it's confidence. And I think where it changed also is Palace play inverted wingers. So Townsend and Zaha, their strongest foot is them cutting in. So he's a winger, he's a centre forward. Get it wide and put the ball in the box. They stopped doing that. So therefore he's not as effective as he should be attacking balls at the back post. It's not happening anymore. They don't play that way. So he wasn't. I watched plenty of games where he really should have just come off because they're not playing to his strengths.
Murray almost choke slammed to the floor there by James Tompkins. The referee says play on. Murray gave away a foul again, by the way, a minute ago, and he's already on a yellow card, so he's got to be careful. Montoya also on a booking. Knockout also on a yellow card, perhaps playing into Chris Houston's thoughts when he took him off, but that is some way to leave the game, though, having scored that goal.
Can do no more. Can do no more. It's a wonderful finish. Now, can Brighton defend, because they're giving away silly free kicks around 25, 20 yards outside their box.
11.5 minutes to go of normal time. Free kick here wide on the right hand side for Crystal Palace as they look for a second equaliser in this game. Milivojevic taking it just away from the corner of the penalty area to the main stand at Crystal Palace. The Serb bends it in towards the near post, but Bissouma nods it clear. Hasn't been great on the set play deliveries, has he, Milivojevic?
Well, that's in general. It's a foul throw too, look, because they can't beat the first man. Another free kick, and they're just going to put it in the box.
Meyer, the man found this time. Signed on a free transfer from Schalke. He was found again on the edge of the area here, but nothing given. Milivojevic then going over. Brighton got the ball, says referee Craig Pawson. Bissouma breaking out. There's a chance for March down the right-hand side. Sorry, he gets it now. March inside, then out. Still Solly March inside the penalty area, trying to take it past Van Aanholt, but didn't have enough in the end to do anything particularly dangerous, and Guaita grabs the ball. Meyer square to Wan-Bissaka. Meyer down the right for Zaha. Wilfred Zaha switching over to this right hand side, running against Bernardo, trying to get the better of him, then falls over, can't get the cross in, and then Zaha in his frustration nearly fouls the Brazilian left back. Zaha going again now against Proper. Low ball in, poor ball in.
Not been his day.
His deliveries have been poor as well, haven't they?
Well, he's not been great, and I think sometimes you have to start thinking your way around the pitch. 3 players came out to block him down, so he's got to be looking to pass the ball and give it simple, but every time he gets it, I'm going to try and beat a player, which is one-dimensional sometimes. It becomes very predictable, and that's the problem he's had today.
March down the right-hand side for Brighton and Hove Albion, who lead this derby game by 2-1. March in a similar position to where Knockout scored from. Thought about going for a goal himself, but thought better of it. Wide it goes. Down the line by Martin Montoya. Murray back to him.
The thing for me is that Palace show no urgency in closing the ball down. There's 9 minutes to go, and there doesn't seem to be any urgency.
Milivojevic trying to clip a ball forward here, but Brighton have it back again. And just keeping the ball near the corner flag. No rush to come forward.
Palace have to do more to win the ball back, and they're not doing it.
Milivojevic nearly clips his man. Johan Bash goes for goal and flies just over the top and behind. He thought there was a touch on that there for a corner. The referee gives a goal kick, but it's almost so laboured. Milivojevic tried to win the ball back there, let his man go past him. There was no secondary challenge or him then going after him again. It's just too relaxed.
Like they're ahead. I mean, there doesn't seem to be that urgency to win the ball back. It's literally like, go on, you attack, and we'll wait till it fizzles out, and then we'll go. Even now, there's no urgency. There's no change of pace to their game.
Towards Benteke here. He goes behind off Dunk. It's another Palace corner. They've had so many in this game. This is going to be number 8. In contrast, Brighton haven't had a single one.
It doesn't matter if you can't put the quality in the box, and unfortunately Milivojevic, who is a good technician, hasn't been able to deliver consistent quality.
Corner from the right then. Clipped in high this time by Milivojevic. Rather straight and direct, but it's headed away by Brighton. Back in by Zaha towards the far post where Dan was waiting. And Bernardo will bring it away. Down the right-hand side, the Brazilian. Tries to play it forward towards halfway, but hits Bissouma. It's brought back by Van Aanholt. Benteke's pulled wide to the left. Wants to bring it back onto his right, onto his left. Delivers a half-decent ball in there. Headed up but not away by Johan Bash. Meyer nods it forward. But I think it was Schlupp in there who didn't fancy it. And in the end, Brighton get themselves a free kick on the edge of their own penalty area. It seems to be the attitude more than anything else with some of the players there. You've got players who just don't seem committed for the cause, and in this game, more than any other, that's the minimum you expect as a fan.
Well, it is, and you know, they just... It appears, anyway, looking at it, there doesn't seem to be that urgency from Crystal Palace to win the ball back, to close Brighton down, to get forward, to make runs off the ball. They're relying again on Zaha to weave his magic. Today's not his day. I think you could see that very early on. Today's not his day. He's getting caught, the ball's getting caught under his feet. He's not moving it quick enough. The tricks aren't working today. So this is the day when you've got three players around you. Find the spare player, shift the ball away, and give someone else an opportunity.
A stunner from Anthony Knockaert has Brighton ahead here at the moment by 2-1. We've played nearly 84 minutes. Listening to Premier League Live. Third goal here for Brighton would kill it. I'm not sure they're going to get it though. They have won a free kick here just inside the Palace half. Every minute that goes by, they're getting more and more frustrated here, the home side.
Well, it's about game management now for both sides. Brighton will just slow it down, kill off any momentum that Palace can sort of create. Palace need to show more urgency, and they're just not doing it at the moment.
High ball forward here by Brighton. Out to the right-hand side it goes, nodded down by Duffy. Palace able to clear through Meyer. Hooked away by Batshuayi. Benteke. It's a poor layoff there with the head, and the fans onto him again. Bissouma brings it forward for Brighton. Lays it wide to Murray. Apart from his yellow card, you really can't fault today, can you? Great first goal, has put himself about when he can.
Yeah, it's what he does. He's an intelligent player, moves well, makes space, presents himself well as a target. That's the thing, not just that centrally, but all the way across the front line. And he relieves a bit of pressure for Brighton, who now realise we have to sit back, we have to defend, but we need an outlet every now and again, and Murray can create that.
High ball forward here towards Benteke. Better not down this time towards Schlupp. It was a brave header away by Dunk this time. Stevens, and then fired away by Proper to the Palace half. Brighton can't make it stick. Van Aanholt has gone down here with an injury. The referee says play on. It's not a head problem, so Meyer plays it forward into Zaha. He's not really done any damage on the right since switching over. Seems to be the way they've gone now since that change that Roy Hodgson made. Hodgson on the pitch at the moment, retrieving the ball as the whistle goes so that Van Aanholt can receive some treatment.
Oh, it's painful, yeah. It's just knees clashed. It looks like from Solly Marsh. Totally accidental. Knees look like opened up his knee just a little bit. Can be somewhat painful. Looks in a lot of pain as well.
He stayed down here, the left back. 4 minutes to go. Do you anticipate a Palace revival from here or not?
Well, with Zaha on the pitch, anything's possible. There's no disputing that, but it appears not to be his day at the moment. Again, it may well be a mistake. With Zaha, it could be a bit of individual brilliance. Max Meyer's on the pitch, but then also is Glenn Murray. If a chance pops to him, you never know. But at the moment, hard call for Palace to nick a goal here.
Great goal from Glenn Murray to open the scoring, and then Palace equalising from a
You're still not having
debatable penalty.
I didn't
want to start again.
There's not a problem. No, you're right. Everyone's got their opinion, and it does look. I saw it again. It does look like he's bought the penalty. There's no disputing that.
And then Knockaert with the undisputable goal of the game. And it's probably going to be the goal of the weekend as well. It's going to take something special to beat that there from the French midfielder. He went off immediately after he scored. Van Aanholt here is still feeling the pain.
He could be in a bit of trouble, actually. It looks painful.
Yeah, can't put too much weight on that left leg of his, but he's going to be reintroduced here. Palace have still got a change left to make. The referee's going to restart play here with a drop ball. Tompkins will return it to the Brighton goal.
You never see a drop ball. I can't remember the last time I saw a properly contested drop ball.
I saw one with Scott Brown playing for Celtic a while back in the old firm.
I remember that was an assault. That was like, 3 falls and a submission. They were grappling.
I was at a Premier League game recently though, and the referee did want an old-fashioned drop ball, and the two players there like, what, you actually want us to do this? It was bizarre.
It was almost like they didn't know what to do. What we both do it together, do we? I've never seen that before. Yeah. Strange. It just doesn't happen anymore, does it?
It's a different game.
That it is. Van Aanholt's struggling, by the way. He just doesn't seem to be able to run it off at the moment.
They can still make a change. They've got Joel Ward on the bench and Martin Kelly as well. Jordan Ayew still waiting in the wings. He's going to have to go for it at some point. 88.5 minutes gone. Palace 1, Brighton 2. It's Dan carrying the ball forward. Wide he goes to Van Aanholt.
But they've just got to put the ball in the box. Simple as that. All this play is a waste of time. Just put it. You've got 2 6-foot-plus centre forwards. Just put it in the box.
And then a foul by Dan on March will bring a yellow card for the centre half. Frustration for him again there. He was beaten.
They're not playing with their heads, Palace. You now just have to play knockdown football. Get the ball in the box, win the knockdowns, and go from there. There's no point trying to pass the ball around because it hasn't worked today. It just hasn't.
You think Roy Hodgson, of all people, would know that. He's not some foreign coach who's sticking to his principles of pass and play. He's surely got to get that message on there now, he or Ray Lewington.
But I look at them and I think physically they're just fatigued, Palace. They don't look like they've got the sharpness or the freshness to be able to cause any problems anymore. They just don't have it. It's not working for them, and their usual, default setting of Wilfried Zaha isn't working either.
Some fans making an early exit, which is baffling, really. There's only a goal in it. We've got 30 seconds left of the 90. What we're going to have, maybe 3 minutes, not been that many changes. Just the one injury, really, to Van Aanholt, who's struggling to get through these final few minutes now. He's got to run on forward here at the moment, but gives the ball away, and he's struggling to get back in. Brighton carrying it forward, and a switch of play is good as well into Jahanbakhsh. Into the middle of the park now for proper White and Murray, who leaves it for the number 16 Jahanbakhsh. He's given away the free kick and slaps the ground in frustration. Palace ball. They take it too quickly because the ball's in motion. 4 minutes of added time, signalled by Stuart Atwell.
And again, Palace take it again.
Made to take it again.
Oh, referee, you let yourself down. I mean, it's 50 yards away from even more away from the goal.
They've changed some of the laws for next season, and it's probably the one that should be added in as well. I mean, you really don't get too much advantage unless the ball's being rolled to you and you hit it as it's rolling. You don't get anything if it's rolling away.
It's ridiculous. He's passed it 5 yards, not 50. It's ridiculous.
Palace coming forward. Maya, right-hand corner of the penalty area, inside the box. Can Palace get themselves a late equaliser to salvage a point here? Well, the ball comes into the box. It's going to drop here for Schlupp. He'll hit it, but he'll put it high over the bar and behind. And his teammates saying to him, you could have passed it, you could have put me in. And he's saying, well, you would have gone for goal. I had to go for goal, but it was a terrible effort. It flies over the bar for a goal kick.
But it's come from nowhere. The problem is, it doesn't come down. And even if he does, it's far too high. It just doesn't come down quickly enough for him. Maybe he takes another touch, that falls to defenders and onto his right foot and strikes it, but that may be the chance.
2.5 minutes for Brighton to hold on.
By the way, I'm not passing to Benteke. No disrespect. Why would you do that? He's got a better chance of doing it himself if Benteke's current form is anything to go by.
4 minutes added on. We've played 90 seconds. And it's a long kick forward here by Ryan. Benteke tries to nod it in field. Almost gives away a free kick. The referee says play on. All a bit scrappy as Brighton let's try and close this game out now and get themselves much needed back-to-back wins, which would lift them into 14th place. And they'd be 8 clear of the drop zone, which at this stage of the season may well be enough for them. Benteke, Van Aanholt, Benteke inside the box. Christian Benteke trying to manufacture some room. Clips it into the area now. I'm not really sure what he was trying to do there. Either way, it was a terrible ball. Tompkins then fouled. Free kick Palace. Diving into the challenge there was
Bernardo.
Who was it?
Bernardo
was. Yeah. He's picked up a yellow card.
He's just overrun it. And this would be a chance. See, this is where Christian would be fuming. You'd have been better, Bernardo, putting the ball out off the pitch rather than just overrunning it and giving Palace a set piece just outside on the right hand side, in sort of inside right position.
This may be their last chance. Milivojevic over and he's going to bend it into the box, right footed in. It comes out towards Benteke, headed into the air by Duncan. Eventually Brighton get it clear, lifted back by Van Aanholt. Not a good ball in though, and Brighton will bring it away, and they should be able to see the game out from now. Jahanbakhsh on the left, tries to play it forward, but hits his own man, and Brighton give the ball away. Palace coming forward, maybe one last time, another poor ball. Murray is back there, and he hacks it clear against his old club. Bissouma plays it out now. We've got 45 seconds left. Brighton almost over the line. Running down the line is Montoya. He slips in Murray, but he won't be going for goal. He'll be heading towards the corner flag. And he goes down and loses the ball to Milivojevic. He's flat out on the deck. He's off. He's lost it here and he's out of the game. Maya carrying the ball forward. Zaha, last chance for him to run now. 30 seconds of the added time to go. Wilfred Zaha up against Bernardo. Bernardo with a tough tackle just when he needed him. The two going head to head here. Zaha, I think, getting frustrated.
Yeah, he is, because he's found someone. It's been difficult for him to take on. He hasn't been able to get the joy he normally gets, and that's the frustration for him.
Change for Brighton at the death here. They're going to... Who's it they're going to send on? Lockadier for Jahanbakhsh. What have you made of his performance this afternoon?
He's all right. Works hard. Good quality, I've got to say. Decent on the ball. Capable of producing quality, yeah. Neat and tidy. Fits into the way that Brighton want their wide players to play. Works hard. Works back. I don't like the walking off nonsense and the pretending to run.
This is another thing that's going to change next season. I don't know if you saw this, that now when you get substituted off, you have to leave the pitch at the nearest point. So you can't, you know, if you know you're going to go off, run the other side of the field.
Yeah, no, that's right. So the ref should just add 2 minutes on. That's what I would do. Add 2 minutes on.
We're in the 95th minute. Batshuayi, right-hand side, he's got to go in now for Palace, and he's won a corner. This is it. This is the last chance to salvage a point in the derby.
Get it in the box, but the ball's got to be decent. Got to miss out the first man.
Everyone going forward now. Milivojevic. He's going to clip this one in high. In it goes. 3 attackers. Benteke gets there, but he can't head it towards goal. And there is the full-time whistle. And Brighton and Hove Albion have done the double. And they've won this game in sensational fashion, thanks to a stunner from Anthony Knockaert. This one was meandering towards a 1-1 draw, but Knockaert came up with something special in front of the Brighton fans, and in the end they've got themselves 3 massive points, not only in this game but in the battle to survive the drop as well.
Yes, and they're well worth it in the second half, I've got to say. It's a great finish. Palace worried me because the way they normally play hasn't worked. Zaha hasn't worked, and they didn't have enough options or intensity or desire on the day. It was all about Brighton today.
Well, let's listen back to how it happened now. Here are the highlights. And a long ball forward. Oh, it's been missed here. It presents a chance to Glenn Murray, who goes for goal, and he finds the net in sensational fashion. He only needs one chance, and Glenn Murray has taken it to reach a century of goals in Brighton colours in the league. But that's secondary here because he's given the Seagulls the biggest lead in the derby. Just 19 minutes gone. Crystal Palace 0, Brighton 1. There's a gap here for MacArthur down the left-hand side into the box. Didn't really catch his cross ride. Zaha coming in. A really good chance there for Crystal Palace. It looked as though Zaha would fire that ball into the bottom corner. Played square now. Townsend edge of the box, throwing players on the deck there. Penalty. Palace with a penalty within 4 minutes of the second half starting. Puffs out his cheeks. The Palace captain steps up to the ball now and strokes it into the corner. And Palace are back level again. There's a bit of a tussle for the ball in the back of the net. Milivojevic turns to the fans, lifts his arms and says, "Come on, let's do this." Here's Knockaert for Brighton, edge of the area, on his left foot. Curling one. Oh, it's a stunner. Anthony Knockaert gives Brighton the lead again. In a goal that will be played time and time again. So Brighton with a 2-1 win here at the home of their nearest and dearest rivals. They've done a double over Palace for the first time since the 1983-84 season in the second tier. It has been a long old way. We've got just over a minute to wrap this one up. Paul Mortimer, your final thoughts on the game? Palace just not doing enough in the end, probably summed up by Wilfried Zaha's performance.
Roy Hodgson will be fuming. He expected better. They just haven't. Yeah, Wilfried Zaha encapsulates everything that Palace were today. Just weren't good enough. Didn't play with their brains or any intelligence either, and that's what cost them today.
Plenty more games to come up this afternoon for you on Premier League Live. Our main feature game at 3 o'clock with John Anderson and Dave Kitson will be with you very shortly. Is Southampton against Spurs. Dele Alli is back for them today. Cardiff against West Ham with Matt Davis-Adams, also a 3 o'clock start. Huddersfield against Bournemouth, Leicester against Fulham, and Newcastle against Everton as well. And Dele Alli back in for Spurs there. That'll be a big boost from Mauricio Pochettino,
because they needed to freshen things up. Huge shot in the arm for them, and you can see them going on and winning that.
Just finally assessing the relegation picture at the moment. Now Palace and Brighton tied on 33 points. 15 seconds. How do you see that going for now? Do you think that's going to be enough for both of them, or do they both need one more win to make sure?
They need another win. To make sure, definitely.
Paul Mortimer, it's been great to have you with us for this one today. Brighton the winners against Crystal Palace. The big game between Southampton and Spurs to come in just a few moments' time. You're listening to Premier League Live. And we'll be joining John Anderson and Dave Kitson very shortly for that game. Just to reiterate the position at the bottom of the Premier League table now. Palace in 13th place and Brighton in 14th place. Palace only ahead of Brighton on goal difference at the moment, both in the negatives, but Brighton on minus 10 while Palace are on minus 5, both on 33 points, currently 8 points clear of the drop zone, having played a game more. So we'll see what happens in the weeks to come. Brighton in cup action next week away at Millwall. That one at 2 o'clock start next Sunday UK time, while Palace also in the cup still. They're away at Watford. That one a 12:15 kickoff next Saturday afternoon. The next home game, the next game in the Premier League rather, is against Huddersfield. They've surely got to beat them here. 3 o'clock start. Brighton at home to Southampton. That all to come. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Go to TalkSport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click TalkSport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the ultimate football fan tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor game. Available online and for free at TalkSport.com/predictor.